Elizabeth, I want to ask you a question because we've all heard about Jim Elliot. We've seen his name posted and given credit to quote after quote. But husband number two, we just don't know a lot about him, and it's a little bit like some of the missing books of the Bible or something. You know, you just kind of wonder about him. Share with us a little bit about husband number two, if you would.
Well, I certainly never imagined never thought of any possibilities in the future whatsoever. I did have a couple proposals from Indians, jungle Indians.
Here.
Turn the sound up.
Have we got a battery in there?
Is that it?
You got to say something. You have to say something.
Okay, these were Quechua Indians.
No. You want mine?
How's that?
No.
Bring the handheld up.
Just take this one and I'll take the handheld.
No, that's all right. You stay with. She can hold.
Well, she's not real good with her hands.
She's
the
not
microphone.
good with her hands? I think she could hold a microphone, Lars, you know?
No, she doesn't like it.
Kill number three.
Yeah.
Kill it.
I'm gonna take this off. Thank you.
How about this?
No.
Is it on?
Hello.
How about that?
There we go.
Yeah.
I did have a couple of proposals from Indians, but I managed to wriggle out by telling them I'm really too tall for you.
Wait a second.
No. Hang on.
What
just
is
one
happening
second.
here?
Why don't you take mine?
Okay, Lars, we'll take yours.
Right.
He's kind of an insistent fellow, isn't he? Is he bossy like this with you at home?
Yeah.
We'll get into that later, okay?
I don't think this one works.
Yeah.
It worked on me.
Here, you hold that one.
Okay.
All right, now, say hello, my name is Elisabeth Elliot.
Hello, my name is Elizabeth Elliot.
Can you all hear that okay? You need a little louder. Can we get her a little more volume? Can you recite the Gettysburg Address?
No, 407 years ago, my forefathers brought forth upon this continent.
We got something. Aren't on at the same time. All right, Lars, turn your microphone off if you want.
It's very difficult.
Yeah, we've had about all of you we want for the evening.
Eat that one.
Tell you what I'm going to do. Let me give Lars, can I give him the hardwired mic? Can we do this? Yeah, that'll work.
I'll tell you one thing, I'm not getting paid for this anyway.
Yeah, we're getting our money's worth too, Lars. I'll tell you.
No.
You get what you pay for.
That's right.
But, Lars, neither is Bob either. Okay. Are we on for Elizabeth now? Try it again.
You have to say something.
I have to say something.
There we go. Okay.
Let's thank them for coming tonight.
Oh, dear.
Anyways, as you already know, I was in Ecuador for 11 years, and when I came back to the States, through a speaking engagement in Missouri, I met a man by the name of Addison Leach. He was the vice president of a small college there, and his wife was actually dying of cancer. He had 3 daughters, and he and I got acquainted because he asked me to come and speak for some things that he did in the summertime there at that college. And his wife was supposed to have died 10 years before, according to the doctors, but she was a very disciplined, amazing woman, and she was still teaching Latin and French when I met her and was entertained in their home. But she died about a year later, and the following year, Addison Leach asked me to marry him. So that was just totally unexpected. But he was 18 years older than I was, and 4 years later, he got cancer, and about half a year after that, he died. Well, while he was dying, I was taking care of him at home after he had left the hospital. And I got to the point where I really desperately needed somebody to help me because he was a big man and he was totally helpless for the last about 6 weeks. So I called the seminary where my husband had been a professor. He was at Gordon Conwell Seminary, and asked if there was a young man that might be willing to come and live in my house and help me take care of my husband. And a young man applied for the job. He was to move in on the following Monday, and Monday my husband died. So naturally, he assumed that he would not be needed, but I called the next day and said, the room is ready for you if you'd like to come anyway. And so he moved in, whereupon it struck me that it doesn't look too good for one lady and one gentleman to be living in a house together. This gentleman happened to be considerably older than many of the other students, and of course I might have been old enough to be his mother. But I thought, well, I better call the seminary to see if there's another young man that would be willing to come. So two men came, lived in my house for 2 years. The first one married my daughter. The second one married me. And when my a friend who had lost her husband when she was in her late 70s, she had lost her one and only husband. She was from Texas, and she said, Elisabeth, I just want to know how'd you ever get 3 husbands? And so I told her my story, and she said, I believe I'm going to rent my house out to 3 widowers.
So you are an advocate then of living together before marriage.
I want you people to know that this gentleman, he is a Southern gentleman, and he never called me anything but Mrs. Leach the whole time he lived in my house. I mean, he was a gentleman, and so was Walt Shepard, who is now my son-in-law.
When you proposed, Lars, did you say, Mrs. Leach, will you marry me?
No, I'll tell you, I thought about the first one and the short marriage that he had, and the second one only doubled him, so I was weighing the possibilities of mathematical progression and only really facing possibly 8 more years of life. I thought it was worth it, so I made the long, arduous trek that it was to convince Elisabeth that I really was serious about getting married. And it was, well, Dennis, he would understand this, but I knew from the very beginning that I had to do it slowly, and it was kind of like a bird dog after a covey. If the dog moves too quick, you flush the covey. So I did it very, very slowly and steadily.
Where did you go on your first date? Did you ever have a date?
Oh yes, I guess I would say we did, but Elisabeth said we didn't. One of the nice things I always remember about it, she always enjoyed it because she always went to sleep on the way home when the car. I figured I had satisfied everything, so she just went off to sleep. It's relaxing that way.
That's great for your self-esteem, isn't it?
Well, I never had any yet. I can remember I'll tell you one nice thing. And I still look at that place whenever we drive from the airport back home. There's a little restaurant on the right-hand side of the road. And I remember one time picking her up at the airport. I used to go in, and when she was out on a speaking engagement, and go in sometimes, offer my services to pick her up and all. So this was a winter night, and she was coming in. I had suggested we get a little bite to eat on the way home. And she said, well, that'd be fine. And now her second husband also had given her this lovely winter coat, black, full length. It's not fur, but it looks pretty good. And she was wearing that and boots. And there was a little ice on the pavement. Pulled in there, and I went around, opened up the door, and she came out, And as we walked across, it was the first time she took my arm, and we walked across there. I mean, I was about 10 feet tall. And we got into the restaurant. The booth we sat in, I can't remember what we ate, but that was probably the beginning of realizing that I was heading down for a fall. It was good. It was, I just thought, we often look at that restaurant and I say, remember that? Remember when we sat in there? I probably built it up more than it was.
Well,
No, wait. If that was the night for you, when was the night for you?
She claims
Years later.
You strung him on?
My mind, I wasn't stringing him on. My mind was totally closed to the possibility. I thought this man could not possibly be serious. He was just a very kind, polite Southern gentleman. He enjoyed living in my house. And of course, we haven't got time to tell you the whole story, but I did kick him out after the second year because I had a sneaking suspicion that he did have a certain feeling for the landlady, which I thought was very inappropriate.
That's the first time I got mad at her, too.
You go ahead and tell about why. Tell why.
Well, I mean, I might be dumb, but I wasn't real stupid about the thing. I knew what she was going to do. But it was morning and time to go to seminary, and I was standing fixing a little bit of lunch, and Elisabeth was over there washing the dishes. And so we had our backs to each other, and I don't know, I didn't see what she did. I'm sure she turned around, but all of a sudden I just heard her say, "Lars, I believe you better find another place to live next year." It was toward the end of the school year. And I don't know if I said anything at all, or maybe I probably said, "Oh, all right," or "yes," or something. But my blood pressure went sky high in about 2 seconds. And I just got my lunch and walked out, went up there, and spent the day, and on coming back to the house, I mean, she had every right to say so and tell me to go ahead and get out. I hadn't done anything out of the ordinary, but I knew what she was talking about. So I just went in. When I got back in, she was in the study, and I knocked on the door and asked if I could see her for a minute. And she said, "Come in." We sat down, and I said, "You have every right to ask me to leave. There's no problem in that. But I said, I don't appreciate the way you did it." And I said, "I'm not some kid coming out of high school. And I said, I've been around a little bit and been in business, and we do things in a more gracious manner." Well, she just listened nicely and politely and thanked me for what I had to say, and that was the end of it. We didn't get into any discussion. She was smart about that.
So did you move out?
Sure, I moved down about a mile and a half and kept going around checking on her, see if I could do anything, oil the hinges and fix the doorknob, and take her to the airport.
so the bird dog was still on point then.
Yeah. The funniest thing, we never...
Well, the cubby hadn't flown anywhere.
Yeah.
It was strange. While this is over 4 years, over a period of 4 years. One time we'd be in a restaurant someplace and someone would see us, and we'd be someplace else, but nothing really was ever said, except there was one little old gal from California who lived. When I moved out, I moved into a house where they had about 5 students there, and this little girl, whenever I'd get ready to go out, I'd be dressed and had not, for some reason, she was in the kitchen. And as I'd leave, she'd say hello to old Blue Eyes. And I'd never I wouldn't crack a smile. I just said, "Good night, Jackie." Yeah. She knew. She was the only one that, I don't know how she figured it out, but she knew.
Well, you got to take us to the time you proposed.
You're not going to like that. Well,
did propose, didn't you?
Well, in a
I don't
sort
think
of
you
way.
can remember anything about it.
I really don't remember what I said.
I do.
Well, and that's what makes me feel bad, because if I did say that, it's not a real good way of doing it.
Wait. 4 years of bird dogging and you blow it at the big moment? Is that what you're telling us?
Well, not exactly. I got her, didn't I? Well, rather than ask a question, I made a statement. Well, I said two things, I guess, didn't I? I had brought a ring along, and I really didn't expect her to say yes or no at that time, but I did want her to know that I was not playing games. So I had showed her the ring, and I said something to the effect that I was not playing games, and then I follow that by just saying that I want you to be I want you for a wife. Isn't that right? Is that right? Yeah, I want you for a wife. So, I mean, it's really not a great way to ask. Anyway,
I was just going to tell some of the things that had happened in my mind months before you actually.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah.
I'd like to know, too.
You already know. No, as I said, my mind was absolutely closed to the possibility of a third marriage. And as much as I liked Lars, I thought he was a delightful man, and somebody who would get Lars would be a very fortunate person. But I was not at all in the market for anything like that. Until one day we were just standing in the living room, and he denies the possibility that he could have ever said this, but I know that it was ipsissima verba, exactly what he said to me that day. He said, I would like to be the one building the fences around you, and I want to stand on all sides.
Whoa. Yeah.
Now that totally transformed my vision of who this man was. And I mean, it was obviously a moment of inspiration, God-given inspiration, because he can't remember it, he doesn't believe it. I said, look, I couldn't have made it up.
What was that again? I want to be the one. Ah, that's smooth,
Building the fences.
man.
Well, anyway, the next straw in the wind, I didn't say anything, but it was just as if I flip-flopped as far as my vision of this man, because very shortly thereafter I was convicted by the fact that God was saying to me, you have not asked me one thing about this. You just made up your mind that you were going to stay single the rest of your life. Well, then I had to get down on my knees and repent and say, well, Lord, I want to do what you want me to do, and how could I possibly have failed to at least mention this in prayer? I then opened my Bible, and to my utter astonishment, well, I have to say before I tell you that I was constantly comparing Jim Elliot to Addison Leach. Jim could do a lot of things Ad couldn't do. Ad could do things Jim couldn't do. Lars could do a lot of things that Ad and Jim couldn't do. And so I was making these odious comparisons. And I opened my Bible, and lo and behold, it was staring me in the face. Men have different gifts, but it is the same Lord who accomplishes his purposes through them all. And not too long after that, one more amazing thing. This is just a concatenation of amazing spirit.
It's a what?
I had an opportunity.
Hold it.
Oh, forget it.
What did you say, Lars?
It's a what?
A concatenation. Don't you speak English? Plain simple English. Concatenation.
I don't know any synonyms for that.
I don't either. No. I don't know any antonyms. I don't know any words that rhyme with it.
I tried to avoid it myself.
That's enough of that. I don't need to tell you anything.
Excuse me, but I had to.
So we've got to let you finish. I'm sorry to have interrupted you. Concatenation.
No, I think that'll do. You don't need to-
Oh, we want to hear the rest of this story.
Well, I'll abbreviate it a little bit, but through a very remarkable series of circumstances, I found myself with Ruth Graham one time, and I just thought, now here's a person she's a wise, wonderful, godly woman, and I can tell her a little bit about this person without naming him or anything, just to sort of run by what she might think. And I described this man and waited to see what she would say about the possibility of an old woman like me getting married at such an age after having 2 husbands. And she just said, Elisabeth, it just wouldn't surprise me in the least if God would give you exactly that sort of a man. And so it was through scripture, it was through prayer, and it was through the wisdom of an older person. And I had several other older people, too, that said the same thing.
And so as he gave you the ring and said he'd like you to be his wife,
She didn't say yes or no.
what did you do? And first of all, what were you thinking as he brought the ring out?
Well, the ring happened, it was a wedding ring. It was not an engagement ring. And he brought out this little square box, and my heart just sank. I thought, oh my goodness, what man would ever give a ring until he's at least proposed? And he brought out this wedding ring and told me right up front, he said, this is my Swedish grandmother's wedding ring. Lars is from Norway. Well, he's half Swedish and half Norwegian, but he grew up in Norway. And so he said, I just want you to know I'm not playing games. And that was another very strong impetus for me to think of him in the possibility of getting married. Anyway, when he proposed, I just said, well, of course I can't possibly give you an answer now, but I will think about it and pray about it. And he was shocked that I prayed, that I did give him an answer as soon as I did. What was it? How many weeks?
Well, it was in June, and then I kind of thought it might be August, September, because I was painting your kitchen. But you sent a letter about 2 weeks later, didn't you? I think about 2 weeks.
Yeah. Anyway,
and so I got it by mail. Didn't get an answer in person. Got it by mail.
She sent a letter?
Yep.
And what did it say?
yes.
I don't remember. I think
Yes?
yes.
I'm a woman of few words.
Okay, now, why did you write him a letter and not ask to speak with him personally? Why did you do it that way?
Lady doesn't call a man on telephone. She'd wait for me to call.
I was living in a little cottage on Cape Cod, and he was painting my kitchen back in Hamilton.
Oh, what a job.
So.
Well, it was a job. It was pine paneled, and I decided to paint it, so I stripped the wood down and then painted it.
Yeah.
Are you still working around the house?
No, don't ask.
He hasn't put the Christmas lights away yet.
Oh, really?
So you got the letter, Lars.
Yes.
And?
Well, I was very happy about it. We didn't announce it. We just kept it. I think we waited until Thanksgiving.
Well, we didn't
Before-
tell
we didn't
anybody,
tell anybody.
but
We didn't
just
tell
a very
anybody
few
because
family members. Then we got
yeah.
married in December.
We got married in December, so we got, we told everybody in Thanksgiving, and I think it was Roger, I don't know if some of you may have heard of Roger Nicole, who's a professor at Gordon Conwell. It was his wife who, I think, said that when the news came out, when a seminary roof blew off. And
because I'd been married to a professor at the seminary, now I was marrying a student.
What can you do? But I also got a lot from Dr. Leach, or Addison Leach, the second husband. I got his bathrobe.
Still have it. It's in your suitcase today.
And I'm wearing his watch. Having Elisabeth having been a missionary, you learn how to cut corners as a missionary, and make do and try to be a little bit on the frugal side. So when we got married and I got the wedding ring, it did look a little familiar. It's a nice one, so you can't see it back there, but it's kind of square on top.
Right.
Well, and it's got ELG there, but it's kind of not very deep letters. And the reason it's not deep, she had to grind off about a quarter of it. Plus it had the initials before was AHL, Addison Hardy Leach, her second husband. And I told her, I said, I wish I'd known you were going to do that, because I would have left his initials on and it'd have been a great conversation piece. And she didn't have to cut it either. We were the same size, same ring finger. Well, what year? You mean for him or for me?
We're trying to figure out your life expectancy. How long you been married? How long you got to go?
Oh, no, I went by. I'm 2.5 times past 8 years.
Whoa.
Yeah.
They've been married 21 years.
21 years. Yeah. It's gone by fast, too.
Mm-hmm.
I've been in a lot of interviews. But if you would just sit with me for a few moments and think about how would you like to turn the corner from this conversation to some theologically penetrating questions? I'm not sure that we need to, personally. We have something that, another little personal touch at this point that we would like to add. You know, Elisabeth, there are a lot of people probably wonder, what's it like to be your daughter? And we've heard a little bit about what it's like to court you and be a good friend and finally a soulmate and a husband. But we decided we would place a phone call to your daughter, Valerie, and ask her what it was like to be Elisabeth Elliott's daughter. And so we want you to listen in as we play a little tape of a phone call we had recently with Valerie. And then we want you to comment on this too.
As you've looked back, what has been what's been the most influential part of your mom's life on you?
Let's see if we can roll that back.
Always. I couldn't imagine what happened.
Stop the tape, please.
Yes, I did the interview. But I did it as the abominable snowman.
What in the world? Do you have a little pitch control? There's obviously a little pitch control on there. They're going to run that back and see if we can't get it just right.
Of your mom's life on you.
She spoke the truth to me, always. Always spoke the truth, and that was wonderful. So I could count on her word. I was confident that she was telling me the truth, and if she had to punish me or if she had to tell me that something good was going to happen, I could count on it happening. So she didn't ever make empty threats or empty promises.
Was she strict?
She was just strict enough that I never thought of her as too strict.
You didn't?
No.
When you were a teenager, you didn't think, I wanted a different way? I wish I had a different mom?
Not at all. No. The only little thing I remember us having a slight disagreement about was the length of my skirts, and this was in 1971 and 72.
And what did you think was appropriate?
Unfortunately, I wanted a little shorter skirt than she thought was appropriate.
Now, how old were you at the time?
This was when I was about 16 and 17.
And a little shorter, like above the knee?
I'm not going to be too specific.
And where did you guys come to a meeting of the minds on this? I mean, where did the skirts end up?
Well, she probably allowed me to wear almost the style, maybe not quite as short as some girls wore, but I would say I'm doing it a little differently with my girls.
When do I have this right? Your husband, you met him because he was living with your mother?
Well, he was a boarder. He was a seminary student, and my mother's husband had just died, and I was gone off to college. So my mother decided she needed someone else living in the house, and Walt Shepard was the young man who moved in. So she got to know him before I got to know him, and she was quite impressed with him, and so I got to know him when I got home, and I was impressed with him too.
Had she been impressed with the other boys who had shown attention?
No. You mean the ones who had shown me attention?
Yes.
No.
Had you been impressed with any of those young men?
Well, a couple, slightly.
Right. Was that ever a source of conflict for you?
No, not at all.
When Mom said, I don't think much of him?
There wasn't a serious enough relationship with any one of them that I was quite upset. I wanted her approval, and I was thankful that when I got to know Walt, she was completely for him and gave us her blessing. Mm-hmm. Really, I had very happy teen years.
When you think of the legacy that she has left to you, what's at the center of that?
Besides speaking the truth to me, she always gave me the confidence and the encouragement that I was loved. And she always gave me the confidence that my father had lived solely for God's glory. And so I was always assured and comforted that someday I would meet my father in heaven. Mm-hmm. And I think that the greatest legacy was simply, there are so many things that are involved in it, but her love and her absolute clear teaching of the truth to me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, we're going to get to spend some time with her here in just a few minutes, and you've got a chance to address her in front of the group. Anything you'd want to say to them?
Well, my mother is a wonderful mother, and I would say a perfect mother. She has been a great influence on my life, and I'm so thankful for her. She's been such a blessing to me, and she still is a blessing to me. Every time that I talk to her, every time that I write to her or hear from her, she wants to encourage me, and she wants to give me hope in the Lord. She always points me to the Lord, and I'm glad that you all get to hear her. And I'm, again, just so thankful that the Lord has given me such a gift in a mother.
Valerie, thanks for taking a few minutes to be with us.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Bye-bye. God
Bye.
bless.
Elizabeth, what was going through your mind as you listened to Valerie share?
To God be the glory.
Mm-hmm.
She has just been a perfect daughter, too. I was talking with a friend of mine when Val was about 10 years old, and this friend had several children, and she was very upset about the kind of relationship that she had with some of her children. And she wanted to know how I would describe my relationship with Valerie. And I just said, I had never been asked a question like that, but I thought about it for a minute. I said, well, I guess I'd have to say in all honesty that it's a perfect mother-daughter relationship. And she just rolled her eyes. She said, you just wait till she's a teenager. I'm still waiting. She's really never given me 5 minutes of worry, and she's a lovely woman. I consider myself tremendously blessed, and such a daughter, such a son-in-law, and such beloved grandchildren. The oldest is 21, the youngest is 5.
How short did she want the skirts to be?
Oh, like 12 inches from the waist?
No.
Well, just exactly the way they are now again. I mean, it's come full circle, really. It's just outrageous.
And where did you settle?
Well, much too short. I mean, I look at some of the pictures, and I'm sure we must have argued over a few inches, but I should never have let her have them as short as I did. Just appalling.
You caved?
Really.
Elizabeth Elliot caved
afraid
in?
I did. When I look at I didn't know it till I look at those pictures now, and I think, how could I possibly have permitted that child to go out the door looking like that?
Because I noticed, too, that yours wasn't too long there for a while.
Oh, now you know that's a lie.
She just said, that's a lot. Well, let's just say your kneecap was below the skirt.
Elizabeth,
Good luck, your
I'm going to rescue you from this
right.
one. We were talking out on the veranda a little earlier just on your personal opinions on children and families today. And I think it'd be neat if you shared some of your thoughts just with families and size of families and some of your opinions about that for Christian families
Yes,
today.
well, I have the opportunity of doing a lot of traveling around and speaking, and every time I have a chance to speak to young couples, I try to say to them, you will be doing your children a very big favor if you have a big family. Because, number one, of course, the Bible says that you're supposed to be fruitful and multiply. And, of course, it's almost un-American to have more than 2 children. But if you only have 2 children, you're not multiplying. One man, one woman are not multiplying if all you produce is 2 children. But the great thing that I see, and of course, having had only 1 child myself, I didn't think about these things nearly as much as I do now, although I came from a family of 6. The dynamics, it just fascinate me to watch my grandchildren together. And I see that the great blessing of a big family, one of the many great blessings, is that it's impossible for children to grow up totally selfish in a big family. You just have to learn to give and take. And I see that in action in Valerie and Walt's family, and of course in many other families I have that opportunity. So that's just a little prod that I like to give to young couples. You just keep on having children, and I'm thrilled to see some of these pictures of big families. It's just wonderful. Don't pay any attention to what the world is telling you on that score. Let me tell you another thing that somebody may correct me. I may not be exactly right on this, but I heard not too many months ago that at the rate homeschoolers are multiplying, and of course very often homeschoolers have big families, within 2 or 3 more generations, I've forgotten what they said, but it would be the majority of the United States. So this to me is a very heartening thing to think that if we could propagate enough Christian families that we would actually take over the majority.
Mm-hmm.
Bob remembers this moment when we interviewed you, and this will be my last question. But in the interview, and you're going to talk to the ladies about this more later on, but I want the guys to hear your answer because I thought this was particularly profound. When Bob and I were interviewing you, one of us asked you the question, Elisabeth, in your marriage, do you ever struggle with being submissive? Now, I don't know if you know how you answered it.
Tell me.
At that time. Your answer was, Bob?
Oh, she said, I resist submission with every fiber of my being.
But I do it.
Yes, you did.
That's exactly right.
I do
that
it.
you do it. But it's a struggle for you. A perpetual struggle?
Well, I really don't like the word struggle, so I'm sorry to hear that I used that word because
I don't think you used the word struggle.
in my opinion, the word struggle 99 times out of 100 means delayed obedience. You know, as long as we can give ourselves permission to struggle, we don't have to obey God. So that's a very bad thing if that's what I said, because what I mean to say is I don't do it because I like to do it. I do it because the scripture clearly tells me there's never been any question in my mind that wives are to submit to their husbands. It has absolutely nothing to do with how I feel about it. I know what God says. And I saw it in my parents. Our parents were the ones that set the example for us.
Well, I want to speak for all of my friends out here and saying thank you for setting the stage for more ministry later. You two have allowed us to know you in a way probably many audiences don't get a chance to know you. And it will make, I think, the ministry of Scripture and the ministry of your words even more sweet and more profound later on.